Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Sunday night after the Taraweeh Salat at Darul Ma'arif al-Islamiyya in Kareli, Allahabad, UP, India, Sunday, the 11th of Ramadan, 1444, corresponding with the English date, 2nd of April 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the ayat of the Quran Majid, وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever puts his trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah ta'ala suffices for him. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to tell us abundantly that the foundation of this tariq and path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is tawakkul and tawazu. You in this path, you walking this road to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you carrying out your wazaif, etc. And this is no ordinary journey. So should you not put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not in your wazaif? Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotwi, his salient characteristics were that of tawazu and tawakkul. I went to Nanotwa and then I sat down, and thousands of people gathered there, so much that they had to call in the police to control the crowds, etc. And I didn't know what to speak about. Nevertheless, at that time this came to mind, and I started speaking about his wonderful traits and characteristics. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to also repeatedly tell us about this. So one incident was Hazrat Nanotwi Rahimahullah was going somewhere, and someone is calling him from the back, and they are saying to him that Mauli Saab. Eventually they catch up with him. And they say, but we're calling you so long, but you're not even turning your attention to us. So he said, oh, I thought you calling some Mauli Saab. Me, I don't even understand myself to be a Maulvi. But he was Hujjatul Islam. He was Hujjatul Islam. But he didn't even understand himself to be an alim. Let me tell you about his tawakkul. His tawakkul was such that on one occasion, he took his son, the one who was the father of Hazrat Qari Tayyib Sahab, Hafiz Ahmad, and they were going on a journey. They were going to Moradabad, when this thought came to his mind that when anyone sees this child, they're going to find sympathy like how any of us do. And then you say, let me give this child some money. Oh, this beloved child, this wonderful child, let me give him something, this or that or the other. And he said, send the child back, that no, this is going to be a means of me actually trying to ask. Now this was a tawakkul. Now tawakkul, बहुत बड़ी दौलत. It is a very, very great gift and a wealth from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is it that we are in this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and still then we have our attention to the makhluk? Allahu Akbar. Let me tell you about the share of couplets of Hazrat Maulana Madni, who was Shaykh al-Hadith. And he gives the nasihat to his murid, Maulana Azaz Ali. Now, if you just study these couplets, they are so simple, and they are so, not even in eloquence or anything like how we would say the language of a villager. Baba, rishta sabse tor. Baba, rishta haq se jor. That, listen, cut off and abandon your relationships with all and join yourself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On one occasion, there was some type of a misunderstanding where Hazrat Maulana Azaz Ali wanted to put a certain student in a certain room. However, Maulana Madni was not too happy about that, due to which for 3 days or sometime there was no talk, etc. But look at Hazrat Maulana Madni. He comes there and he says, Mauli Azaz Ali, maaf kar lo. Mauli Azaz Ali, forgive me. Allahu Akbar. These were our mashayikh and our akabirin. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, when something used to happen, And then someone would come and then say, Hazrat, make maaf. He would not be happy with that. Rather, until or unless the person did not say that I made this mistake, therefore forgive me for it. Because the idea was that of Islah. You had to know first that, listen, where did I go wrong and where did I make a mess up, so that you can understand that and there can be a proper reformation and rehabilitation. Yahan pagri uchalti hai. Yahi mekhana hai. This year is that place where people get intoxicated with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it is such a place where the turbans get slapped off the heads of people, flying from pillar to post. Allahu Akbar. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, when he was in the Khanka of Tana Bhawan, and then some people, sometimes you are unassuming, and then somebody shouts you and tells you, what's wrong with you, what you doing, and why you sitting here, and this and that and the other. Then he would say that, listen, I came here to Hazrat Tanvi, and I'm making bardash and I'm tolerating what comes from his side so that my Islah can be made. Listen, in all of that also, if you tell me this and that and the other, I'll accept it, because I've come here for my Islah. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, while studying in Darul Uloom Deoband, he used to make imamat at the station masjid. Nevertheless, because of the imamat, he had to leave early. He would then come to the mass, and then the bawarchi, the cook there, would understand that this man here would not take salan and gravy. So he would say, "Get Wasiullah ko achhi roti de dena, wo salan nahi lete. Give him some nice roti, because he doesn't even take salan." And then quickly he would take that and leave for the masjid where he would perform his salat. And after the Asr salat, mehmans would come by, because it was the masjid of the station, and then somebody would not have this or somebody would not have that. People would come and sit around, and he would share that food with them. And sometimes it would even happen that he would go hungry, because there was nothing left to eat. Khoon dil peene ko, lakhte jigar khane ko, yahi ghiza milti hai jana teri diwane ko. So this was the difficulties that he underwent. Allahu Akbar. So the nafs is this what we have in front of us. But you killing a snake, and thereafter you go and kill a lion, and you have accomplished this and you accomplished that, but you could not see and put away and put your nafs down and slaughter your nafs, then what did you actually kill and what did you actually achieve? And that is why Ramadan is here. Our Akabirin were so vigilant about the nafs, and they kept on putting it down and slaughtering it over and over again, right till the end. Andari ra mi kharash o mi tarash ta dame akhir dame farig mabash. In this path, you would get difficulties and problems and trials and tribulations. Therefore, right until the end, don't leave your nafs unattended. Allahu Akbar. Rather, it is wajib. So, this here is the path. But listen, it is within your capability and it is within your capacity, because Allah is saying that La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. So this here is for the men folk as well, and for the women folk. وَالذَّاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ. For both of them. On one occasion, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha says to her fellow, her co-wife, and she was short, that was the reality, but she uttered those words that, oh, she's so short, she's like a dwarf. Wo to nati si hai, wo to tengani hai. She said that, but in a way that she was undermining the next one, the co-wife. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not tolerate this. Despite her being the most beloved of wives, he scolded her, he reprimanded her, he made islah of her. And he said, "O Aisha, today you have uttered such words. If we take it and we put it into the waters of the ocean, it would pollute the waters of the ocean." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was walking, and then he hears the sound of shoes behind him, due to which immediately he sits down. And what was it all about? Out of the fear of self-conceitedness creeping into the heart. Hazrat Tanvi elaborates and makes a remark on this particular hadith and says, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so careful of all of this here, then who are you and who am I? Allahu Akbar. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala an said something to certain people due to which he displeased them. And after that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam scolded him and saying that you are Qurayshi, but you hurt their feelings, due to which you had made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upset. So this was Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala an, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam making his islah. Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making islah. So Hazrat used to say that if you adopt tawakkul and put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah will see to you. Your relationship with Allah will be rectified. And if you humble yourself, then your relationship with fellow people will then be rectified. So Allah Ta'ala bless us with the wealth of reliance in Allah and humility. With the barakat of Ramadan, Allah bless us with this great treasure and this wealth. Jisne mitaya apna namo nishan, haft iqlim kabana sultan. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb used to say, the person who lowered himself, he erased and wiped away any traces of his. He humbled himself completely and totally for Allah. Allah made him the leader of the world, the leader of all the continents. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah used to say, "Main to naam o nishan mita beta, main to apna naam o nishan mita beta, shohra ura diya mera kisne." That listen, I sat down here hidden and hiding myself away. I wonder who has put this fame of myself all over the show. Allahu Akbar. So if Allah Ta'ala has given you wealth, then too you must stay within the limits, and you cannot become proud, arrogant and self-conceited. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned in the hadith, "Inna lil ilmi tughyanun kama hiya lil mal." Most definitely for knowledge, it also comes with some type of rebelliousness, pride, arrogance, self-conceitedness, just like how the case is with that of wealth. So Allah Ta'ala remove these razail and abhorrent characteristics from us. So that knowledge that brings about arrogance and pride, etc., in reality that is not even knowledge. Man arafa nafsahu arafa rabbahu. The one who has recognized his nafs, he has understood it, he will recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that I am the one who from amongst you who fears Allah the most. Ana akhshakum. And the reason for that is because ana arafukum, I am the one who has the most recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that knowledge which does not bring about the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within you, what type of knowledge is that? All the ulama of the Deoband made ruju to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, Allama Ibrahim Balyawi, so many other ustads, they were all there. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb was giving them advice, and he said to them, the tree which is laden, its branches are laden with fruits. Look at that tree. What's the shan of that tree? It is bowing down completely. because it has so much. But you'll see the tree that has nothing, it will be poking its face right in the skies and in the heavens, up like that, proud and arrogant, because it has nothing within it. Allahu Akbar. So, that knowledge that comes with tawazu, it will make that person bow down. Rather, true knowledge is that knowledge which humbles a person. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to also add to that, and he would say similar is the case of ibadat. Sometimes that ibadat proves to be a calamity for a person because he becomes self-conceited with that. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahib used to say, why are you proud and arrogant? You just made tasbih just 100 times and you are proud about it. The malaika spend their entire life in ibadat from start to end, and you becoming proud just because you made one tasbih of zikr. People used to go and study 1 year in Deoban, and they would come and they would say, I'm Qasimi. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to say, what Qasimi are you? What knowledge do you have of Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Qasim Sahib? What Deobandiyat do you have within you? Have you even understood what Deobandiyat is all about? Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Sahib even established and had one whole jalsa only on this, that what is Deobandiyat. And then after I came for that jalsa and I missed out that bayan of Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Sahib. Unfortunately, that bayan was not recorded. I have it noted down somewhere, but it's not coming to my mind now presently. There was a person who was making tilawat, and then Allah Ta'ala opened up the reward of that tilawat to him and put it in front of him. And then he remarked and he said, oh Allah, but I don't find the tilawat of certain verse. Allah Ta'ala then addressed him and said, but that certain verse was not even there, because that was not recited for me. It was recited to chase away the thief that jumped into the yard. So you started screaming and reading loudly that particular ayat so that the thief could understand, oh, the people in the house are awake. So the thief then ran away. So ilm-e-suluk, knowledge of this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is something very great. But listen, it's very easy as well. In the past, people used to make mashq of tawakkul for those who were in their company. There was an incident about this child in the house where they were teaching this child tawakkul, and they would tell the child every day, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you must open up that cupboard and you'll find your food there. You must make dua, and whatever you want, you will find it in there. Coincidentally, then they did not put anything in the cupboard, and the child then makes his dua and then goes there and he finds exactly what he asked for, and this comes to the notice of the parents, due to which they said that his tawakkul to tamam ho gaya. He has reached perfection now in his tawakkul, and this quality has been entrenched in his heart and in his mind. So Ramadan is this month where we recognize this nafs. We recognize, the person who recognizes himself with ignorance will recognize Allah with knowledge. The one who recognizes his self with weakness, he will recognize Allah with strength. Allahu Akbar. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala opens then the kitab that he has in front of him on tawakkul, and then he starts speaking about an incident, and he says that Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to quote this incident abundantly to us. At that time, these kitabs were not even there. I see it now and it brings happiness to me. It was about a certain buzruk, and then he made safar. It was during his student days. He left the city center and he went out into the jungles where there was one masjid there. And then the thought started coming into his mind, shaitan putting the thought that what you're going to do, you'll die here. This is away from everyone. Rather go to a masjid where somebody will see you. And then they will feel pity for you, due to which they can attend to you. But he ignored all of that, and rather he said that I will not go, I will remain here and I will eat here, Allah will give me here, but also that I will not even eat until I am fed. Nevertheless, after the Isha Salat, this person was in that masjid and was doing whatever he was doing or sleeping. When about 1/3 of the night passed, he hears a bang at the gate and at the door of the masjid, and this continued. He remained silent. It continued for a long while until he opened the door and he sees an old lady with her little son. And in her hand she had a basket with food and a dastarkhan, etc., with one lantern as well. With one lantern. So then what happens after that? This lady then says that I made some halwa and I was going to feed it to my son. Now that time there also he said that I will not eat anything besides halwa also. That was his tawakkul there, he was saying. And then halwa also comes, and then she says we made this year, and in all of that the son of mine says that I will not eat except with a musafir. So then we went out in the search of a musafir. Nevertheless, we found you here. Then the old lady opens that basket and then she puts one morsel of the halwa in her son's mouth, and then she puts one morsel in my mouth. And that's how she continued. So this was that tawakkul. Nevertheless, after that they go on to discuss the different types of tawakkul, tawakkul aam, tawakkul khas, and tawakkul akhassul khas. The general tawakkul, the special tawakkul, and the one which is absolutely special, the greatest of them all. Hazrat Wala then quotes some ash'ar also, that no moment in my entire life passed except that it passed in sin. It passed in sin. And whatever I done also, I done it without sincerity. Now look at these words of humility and expression of helplessness in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, Hazrat Wala then says, if you adopt tawakkul, your ta'alluq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be rectified, and if you adopt tawazu, your ta'alluq with the fellow people will be rectified. Now let us make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses us with beneficial knowledge. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa amalan mutaqabbala. Oh Allah, we ask you for beneficial knowledge and accepted deeds. And then وَنَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ عِلْمٍ لَا يَنْفَعُ, and we seek refuge in you against knowledge that does not benefit. Many Ramadans have passed. What to say and what to do? More than anybody else, for me, many Ramadans passed. For you, maybe a few less. But so many Ramadans passed, and then too we did not achieve anything. Kya hoga? What will happen and what will we do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify this nafs of ours so that we can get falah and success. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.